Victor, we are not tired of seeing your face. Please, go ahead, Honorable Victor. We'll see you later. Yeah. Honorable colleagues, please just a piece of announcement concerning the iftar engagement. Just to let members of the Southeast Caucus know that the iftar engagement with me is going to be next week, Wednesday. On Wednesday, that would be on the 12th of March. Instead of being paired along with the South-South, we have decided to create a day for the Southeast separate from the South-South. So please reserve that date if you are from the Southeast Caucus. It will be Wednesday next week, our iftar engagement, please. Honorable members, the first business of the day is presentation of 18 bills. And I invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Chartered Institute of Counseling of Nigeria Bill Establishment. Chartered Institute of Counseling of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. National Public Asset Management Agency Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. National Skills Development and Empowerment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Universities of Technology Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Examination Malpractices Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025, first reading. Nigerian Police Academy Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 6th alteration, creation of additional local government councils in Imo State Bill 2025, first reading. Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal College of Health Science, Technology, and Tropical Medicine, ABWA, Benue State Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Nigerian Ports Authority Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Older Persons Rights Bill 2025, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 6th Alteration Bill 2025, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 6th Alteration Review and Framework for Local Government Administration Bill 2025, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 6th Alteration, National Local Government Electoral Commission as Independent Body Bill 2025, first reading. National Emergency Management Act, Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025, first reading. Administration of Federal Capital Territory Area Councils Establishment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Universities of Agriculture Act Amendment Bill 2025, first reading. Federal Capital Territory Act, Federal Capital Territory Area Council Economic Board Establishment Bill 2025, first reading.
Thank you. Honorable Konta, please can I see you with the minority leader as well as the chairman of Rules and Business. And of course, the whip. Please quickly. Honorable colleagues, the second business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Southeast Development Commission on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Southeast Development Commission, the total sum of 255,550 million naira only, out of which 223,350 million naira only is for capital expenditure, while the sum of 27,200 million naira only is for recurrent expenditure, standing in the name of Honorable Chris Okonta. Honorable Okonta is invited to present the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Chris Nkwanta, and I represent the good people of Okwa East and West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, with the leave of the House, I'd like to step down this motion for further consultation. Thank you.
This bill is stepped down by the leave of the House. The third business of the day is presentation of 6 reports of the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions, standing in the name of Honorable Abiodun Isiaq Akilade. Honorable Akilade is invited to present the reports.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Abiodun Isiaq Akilade is my name, representing your South Ikuka Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Ogun State. I rise to present 6 reports from the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions. I rise to say that this House do receive the report of the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions on a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Cap A12 laws of the Federation of Nigeria to make provisions for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Kagango, Kaduna State, and for related matters. I also move that this House receive the report of the Committee for an act to amend the provisions of establishment of Sugarcane Research Institute, Makarfi, Kaduna State, and for related matters. Honorable Speaker, I also move that this House receive the report of the Committee for an act to amend the Established Act to make for provision of establishment of Agricultural and Energy Technical Institute about Delta State. Honorable colleagues, I also move that this House receive the report of the Committee for an act to make provision for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture and Forestry, Okundi, Boki Local Government Area, Cross River State. I also move, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that this House receive the report of the Committee for an act to make provision for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture and Forestry, Fika, Yobe State. And finally, honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that this House receive the report of the Committee for an act to make provision for establishment of Federal Institute of Fisheries Research, Bunumun Town, Tafawa, Balewa, Bauchi State. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I do move.
Is the Deputy Chairman of the Committee around?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I remain Honorable Salman Idris. I represent Kababunu Ijumu Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to second the motion to accept the reports of the committee as presented by my able chairman. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Akilade, please proceed and lay your reports. The fourth business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Mangu, Plateau State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Patrick Umo. Honorable members will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 5th December 2024. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Patrick is invited to present the report.
Thank you, the Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Honourable Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the entire people of Ikot-Ekpene, Eshenudim, Obodo-Okara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I'm a proud son of Akwa Ibom State. I rise that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center, Mangu, Plateau State, and for related matters, referenced as HB 1747. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The Deputy Chairman of the committee, is he around? Doctor?
Yeah, I'm here, sir. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. My name is Adeshola S. Adedayo. I represent the people of Apapa. I am from Lagos, the state of aquatic splendor and the center of excellence. I rise this afternoon to move that the House accept the report as presented by the chairman of the Committee on Health Institutions. I so second, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Dr. Patrick, please proceed and lay your report. Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish the National Commission for Decommissioning of Oil and Gas Installations under the presidency to coordinate decommissioning efforts as part of Nigeria's environmental diplomacy strategy, ensure autonomy in decision-making and protect national interests through sustainable resource management, environmental restoration, and international collaboration, and for related matters, standing in the names of Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, and Honorable Julius Ohevere. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 17 December 2024. I'll now invite the House Leader to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. A bill for an act to establish the National Commission for the Decommissioning of Oil and Gas Installations under the presidency to coordinate the decommissioning efforts as part of Nigeria's environmental diplomacy strategy, ensure autonomy in decision-making and protect national interests through sustainable resource management, environmental restoration, and international collaboration, and for related matters, HB 1968, to be read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Any Honorable Rotimi?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Akitunde Rotimi Jr., I represent the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency, which comprises the Kole and Oyo local governments. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the land of honor, Ekiti State. I rise to second the motion ably moved on a very, very important bill that will see greater environmental justice in the country. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. I don't know whether, Honorable Oeve, you can give some synopsis of this particular bill for the
Yes,
knowledge
Mr.
and
Speaker.
consideration of members here.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Critical gaps exist in the governance of the decommissioning activities, particularly dismantling oil equipments that are no longer in use, to be able to safely dispose of them and remedy the environment. And this commission is meant
Honorable Deacon.
to ensure that oil and gas fields, as they mature and reach the end of their productive years, that they are properly decommissioned and the environment is saved and our people don't suffer from that.
Honorable Inu Agarba.
Many oil and gas installations have been abandoned across the country, especially
Dr.
in Niger
Patrick.
Delta, and left to deteriorate, posing significant environmental and health risk to our communities. So this is just a solution to these environmental problems that our people are facing. And we believe that with this commission, we'll be able to meet the Paris Agreement and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as stated. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I think with this explanation, we can go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this bill to go for second reading should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right Honourable Speaker, honourable members, a bill for an act to establish National Commission for Decommissioning of Oil and Gas Installations under the presidency to coordinate decommissioning efforts as part of Nigeria's environmental diplomacy strategy, ensure autonomy in decision-making and protect national interests through sustainable resource management, environmental restoration and international collaboration and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Petroleum Resources upstream for further legislative action. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of an independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas and Honorable Marcus Onobu. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 31st October 2024. I now invite Honorable Marcus to move that the bill be read a second time.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm Right Honorable Marcus Onobu. I represent the resplendent people of Esan West, Esan Central, and Igwebe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I rise this morning to take the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of independent authority for the registration and regulation and funding of political parties in Nigeria and related matters, HB 1862. I rise to move that this motion be read for the second time.
Any seconder? Any seconder? Honorable Odojo.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Donald Kemekambo Jogo. I represent the good people of Ilajes of the Federal Constituency. I stand here this afternoon to support the motion, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria and for related matters be read the second time. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Honorable Marcos, please can you give some synopsis of this particular bill for members to be enlightened?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Dear honorable colleagues, we have before us a Political Parties Registration and Regulations Bill 2024, seeking to remove political parties registration and regulation from Independent Electoral Commission, and innovation with regards to political parties registration and regulation in Nigeria. The background of this bill calls for transparency in the electoral process in Nigeria, and this had to dominate the public discourse in recent years. This is evident in the increased number of electoral disputes at all levels. All stakeholders in the electoral process are agreed with the fact that no nation can elect a credible leaders or experience good governance where the process of electing her leaders is marred with irregularities. People believe in the election integrity and depend on free, fair, impartial, and transparent process for registering political parties and for conduct of elections. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the objectives of these bills, first is to remove the registration and regulation of political parties from the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, and create an independent body or authority, the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. This can create a body and is also for the registration of regulation and activities of operations of political parties. Consequently, Clause 2 to 5 of these bills make provision for registration of political parties. In accordance with the provision of the bill, the registrar of political parties established under Clause 29 of this bill shall oversee the registration of political parties, merger of political parties, regulate the funding and the use of political parties' funds. Secondly, the bill seeks to establish the Political Parties Dispute Tribunal under Clause 35, which shall determine dispute between members of political parties, dispute between members of political parties and a political party, dispute between political parties, between independent candidates and a political party, dispute between coalition partners, and appeals from the decision of the registrar under this bill. Conclusively, Mr. Speaker, the credibility, health, and well-being of every democracy are hinged on the effective regulation of the political parties. Therefore, to ensure transparency and stable democracy, it cannot be business as usual for political parties and key actors where anything goes. It is my prayers that this honorable House and my colleagues support this bill. If we must save our democracy, the time is now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Marcos. Members, you have heard about some of the details of the bill. I'm sure with your kind permission, if you give the consent details, more comprehensive details of this bill will be discussed during the public hearing. So with your kind permission, we'll go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion? Comment? Comment? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my honorable friends. First, I would like to acknowledge your concern, because your name is on this bill, for a better political climate. But I have my own concerns too. This bill, as far as I can see, seems to be replicating a lot of functions already now being undertaken by INEC. If you go to the test schedule of the Constitution, those functions this bill seeks to perform in the Constitution test schedule. Beyond that, a lot of the aspirational principles, it seeks to achieve dispute between parties and members, and between members and parties, tribunal, and things like that. These aspirations, in my view, are already captured within certain frameworks, both by electoral acts and the Constitution. So, with due respect, Mr. Speaker, I would suggest that this bill may be reconsidered. That's my opinion. Be reconsidered.
Thank you for...
I'm saying this, sir, out of deference to you. There are many concerns I would have raised here, even more. But because your name is here, I will refrain from saying more than what I just said. Thank you.
Thank you for the contribution. No bill is perfect. And that's the reason why bills are debated for and bills are taken for public hearing, so that areas of defects, areas that they need to be improved upon can be done. So I think we can still go ahead and put the question. If there are other reservations concerning the bill, we will be able to do justice to it during the public hearing. So those in support of this bill go for second reading, say aye. Those against you say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members.
Honorable Agbowoni, please come and clear yourself first here.
A bill for an act provides for establishment of an independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committees on Electoral Matters and Constitutional Review for further legislative action. The third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Ebele, Edo State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Marcos I. Onobu. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 6 June 2024. I now invite Honorable Marcos to move that the bill be read a second time.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I'm Right Honorable Marcos Onobu. I represent the resplendent people of Esan West, Esan Central, and Igwebe Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this morning I rise to take the second reading of the bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Agriculture, Ebele, Edo State, and for related matters, HB 1805. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Sorry, did we get a seconder? Seconder, Honorable Lete.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Ete Okpolopum. I represent the good people of Eket, Una, Esreke, and even of Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I rise this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by my colleague.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. This bill is an establishment bill, and I'm sure members of the general public and the House will do it great justice when it comes to the public hearing stage. So with your kind permission, we'll go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this bill go for second reading, say aye. Those against you say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal College of Agriculture, Ebele, Edo State, and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions for further legislative action. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Biomedical Sciences, Oju, Benue State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable David Agada Ugeu. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 19th July 2023. I now invite Honorable Ugeu to move that the bill be read a second time.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Ogel David Agada, member representing Oju or Federal Constituency, and from Benue State, the food basket of the nation, and also a proud Igede son. I rise this afternoon to move a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal University of Biomedical Sciences, Oju, Benue State, and for other related matters, HB 162. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Is it NG? Can't see the face properly. Is it Ishaka? Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My name is Goye Gaisaka. I represent the people of Yewa North, Imekwa from Federal Constituency. I stand this afternoon to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. Thank you very much.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Again, honorable colleague, this is an establishment bill. With your kind permission, we'll go ahead and put the question. Or should we delay the question? Because I can see that Honorable David has not done a lot of consultation. Should we delay putting the question, or should we go ahead? So, thank you. Those in support of this bill go for second reading should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal University of Biomedical Sciences, Oju, Benue State, and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on University Education for further legislative action. The fifth order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend Nigeria Research Institute Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Nigerian Institute of Cashew Research, ISEDI, Ogomosho, Oyo State, to provide basic and applied research into facilities, access to resources, trading and other technical services relating to the cultivation, processing, utilization, and economy of products of cashew and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Sunday Ojo Makanjola. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 21st November 2024. I now invite Honorable Sunday to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and my distinguished colleagues. My name is Honorable Ojo Sunday Makajola, Honorable representing Ogoluwa Surulere Federal Constituency. I'm from Oyo State. I stand this afternoon to present a bill for the second time, for second reading, for a bill for HAT to amend Nigeria's Research Institute Act, laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Nigerian Institute of Cashew Research, Isade, Ogomosho, Oyo State, to provide basic and applied research into facilities, access to resources, trading and other technical services relating to the cultivation, processing, utilization, and economic of product of cashew and for related matter, HB 1845, for the second reading. I so move. Thank you.
Honorable Abbas, can you second?
Thank you.
From your state.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Abbas Ajigun is my name. I represent the people of Ibadan Southeast, Northeast Federal Constituency. I like to second the bill moved by my honorable colleague from Oyo State. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Again, honorable colleagues, this is another establishment bill. With your kind permission, we go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Research Institutes Act, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to establish Nigerian Institute of Cashew Research, Esade Ogbomosho, Oyo State, to provide basic and applied research into facilities, access to resources, trading, and other technical services relating to the cultivation, processing, utilization, and economy of products of cashew and for related matters. Second reading.
Honorable colleagues, this bill is referred to the Committee on Agricultural Production and Services for further legislative action. The sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish National Grassland and Forage/Fodder Production Research Institute, Guma, Gamawa, Bauchi State, to drive implementation of the National Livestock Transformation and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Adamu Ibrahim Gamawa. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 6 July 2023. I now invite Honorable Gamawa to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, GCON, my respected colleagues. My name is Honorable Adamu Ibrahim Gamawa from Gamawa Federal Constituency, speaking from Bauchi State. I rise this afternoon to move that a bill for an act to establish the National Grassland and Forage/Fodder Production Research Institute, Gamawa, Bauchi State, to drive implementation of the National Livestock Transformation and for related matters be read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Bapa. Before then, please, let me just draw us a little back to the third order, to the second order, where we made reference of the committees to electoral matters and constitutional review. Please let us also add Committee on Political Matters as part of the committees to consider that bill. Please go ahead. Thank you.
The distinguished people speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Ali Uba from Misau, representing the good people of Misau, number federal constituency, and I am from Ocho State. The honorable speaker, I stand to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague for the establishment, for the second reading to be heard. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Again, honorable colleagues, this is an establishment bill. With your kind permission, we go ahead and put the question. Unless if Honorable Gamawa does not want it, we can delay it until next year, next legislative year. Are we good to go?
Go, sir.
We should go. So those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to establish National Grassland and Forage Fodder Production Research Institute, Gamawa, Bauchi State, to drive implementation of the National Livestock Transformation and for related matters, second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Livestock Development for further legislative action. The seventh order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate the Family Homes Funds Limited over the 500,000 units housing scheme of the federal government standing in the name of Honorable Esosa Iyawe. Honorable Iyawe is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, my amiable Speaker. I remain Honorable Esosa Iyawe. I represent Oredo Federal Constituency. I am from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on the need to investigate the Family Home Funds Limited over 500,000 units housing scheme of the federal government. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that the housing sector has consistently played a pivotal role in the economic fortune of nations and contributes about 16% of GDP in advanced countries. The House also notes that 2021, the World Bank has estimated the Nigerian housing deficit stood at 15.56 million units. And in 2023, the federal government put the housing deficit statistics at 28 million units with an estimated funding needed of 21 trillion naira. The House is concerned that some of the housing schemes initiated by the federal government has been mired in controversy, and the consequences of which is the rapid growth of informal settlements, slums on the edge of Nigeria's major cities, with obvious drawbacks for economic development, health, safety, and security. Mr. Speaker, the House is aware that in a bid to address the housing deficit in 2028, the federal government established the Family Home Funds Limited with a mandate to utilize the sum of 1.5 trillion naira for the construction of at least 500,000 houses for low-income earners across the country. The House is also concerned that, to date, not only has Family Home Funds Limited failed to live up to expectations, but the few houses built are in obscure locations and unaffordable to the target audience for this scheme. The House is concerned that the undelivered project has tied up government funds, potentially leading to deterioration of these houses and further economic loss if not addressed properly. Mr. Speaker, the House resolves to mandate the Committee on Public Assets to investigate the Family Home Funds Limited over the 500,000 units housing scheme funded by the federal government
and ascertain the status of the project and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I shall move.
Thank you. Yes, I think some members approached me on amendments. So let's start from here. Robon, okay?
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I am Mweke Felix Uche. I represent Elembe Tai, Oyibo Federal Constituency. I'm from River State. Right, Honorable Speaker, this motion, I'd like to amend the prayers to add prayer 2, that it should be referred to the Committee on Housing and Habitats. Because federal...
Is it to replace or in addition?
To add.
To add?
To add.
So which one are you saying should be the lead?
The Housing Committee should be the lead.
Okay, so it should come first.
Yes. I saw
Ezosa, you are smiling. No point of order. Yeah, I'm just... Any more amendment? Okay, any seconder to this amendment? Let's take a seconder. Robuzana.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Zanna Usman, representing the good people of Kagago, Vioma Gumeri from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the amendment ably made by my honorable colleagues that Committee on Housing should be included, because in the Nine Assembly, I can recall, is the Committee of Housing and Habitat that oversight this particular agency. Yes, sir. So okay. I saw second.
Okay. Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Any more amendments? All the ones that have raised their hands is on same issue. Thank you. Okay, any seconder to the main motion? Honorable Deacon.
Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, GCFR, PhD. I am Honorable Chike John Okafor, PhD. I rise to second this very important motion as amended. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Housing and Habitat and Public Assets for further legislative action. The eighth order of the day is a motion on the need to complete the multi-million-dollar Kaduna 250 megawatt power plant and rehabilitation of vandalized Gurara plant. Standing in the name of Honorable Hussaini Mohamed Jallo, Honorable Jallo is invited to move the motion.
Right, Honorable Speaker, sir. I'm Hussaini Mohamed Jallo, representing Igebe Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I stand here to present a motion on the need to complete the multi-million-dollar Kaduna 250 megawatts power plant and rehabilitation of the vandalized Gurara plant. The House notes that the Kaduna 250 megawatt power plant is located in the Kudende adjacent to the industrial area of the southern Kaduna metropolis. Also note that the power plant project was conceived by the federal government of Nigeria through the Federal Ministry of Power, primarily to add and support regular power supply to the Kaduna industrial cluster, in addition to increase energy capacity to the national grid. Further note that the engineering, procurement, and construction EPC contract was awarded to the EPC consortium of Mrs. Roxon Engineering, General Electric, and Novo Beacon on the 19th of November 2009, which was to be completed by the fourth quarter of the year 2013. Regrettably is that the completion and commissioning of the plant was being moved severally, the last being second quarter of 2018. Disturbed that after the failed commissioning of the power plant, a member of the consortium, Roxon Engineering Company Limited, was placed on court-guided receivership by Asset Management Committee of Nigeria, AMCON, for their inability to settle their indebtedness to the sundry matters. Also disturbed that since the receivership action by AMCON, some few activities took place at the project site, including the supply of power control module, PCM, after which there was no further commissioning schedules communicated by the consortium to the Federal Ministry of Power. The project
My namesake, order, please.
The
Honorable
project
Taura,
completion is
can you please sit properly?
is effectively in abeyance. Aware that the engineering, procurement, and consortium EPC contract was reached 86% completion as of July 2019, the scope of work gradually remained.
Taura, I will report you to ethics and privilege.
The scope of the work largely remaining is the balance of the plant, erection services, termination and docking of the cables etc., which was contained in the contract. Concerned that the Kaduna 250 megawatt plant, when completed, is expected to bring numerous economic advantages. A, increase power generation by adding 250 megawatts of electricity to the industrial cluster and the national grid. B, job creation. The plant, when completed, will create sustainable employment opportunities for the immediate local environment at the national and at the national level. C, stimulating economic growth. Uninterrupted electricity supply will enhance business development and the promotion of cottage industries. Social advantages. A, improve quality of life and homes, schools, and primary health centers. B, enhance security of lives and properties. Further disturb that as no works are currently being carried out at the site, the integrity of the power transformers, the power control module facilities being installed are becoming questionable because of weather conditions and lack of preservation protocols of the turbines. House resolves, urge the Federal Ministry of Power to ensure that the contractors handling these two important power plants are obliged to return to site and to conclude the project within the stipulated time. B, mandate the Committee on Power and Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move. Thank you.
Any amendment? Honorable Inua.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am Right Honorable Inua Garba, member representing Yamato Deba Federal Constituency. I am from Gombe State, Mr. Speaker. While I appreciate the effort of Honorable Sen Mohamed Jallo for bringing this motion, which is very, very critical at this time, I want to amend the prayers. Why am I amending or adding a prayer to these prayers? It's because of the fact that looking at the time frame at which this project has been designed, because any engineering project must have to start from design. And because of technological impact on how things are done, I know from 1990.
That is it, so.
2009.
Can you make your amendment straightforward, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to add a motion that a committee should be set up with relevant committees that have engineering experience under the committee to investigate first the workabilities of the earlier designed, so that they cannot, in the project, say that Ministry of Power should go ahead and continue the project. If the workabilities or the designs cannot...
You are not amending or adding anything. You are still discussing.
I am amending that committee on science,
can you praise your amendment or additional prayer?
Additional prayer. I said additional prayer, Mr. Speaker. I said that earlier. Committee on Science, Engineering should investigate the designs and workabilities of the project so as to...
Does Science Committee on Science have any jurisdiction over power
Definitely,
projects?
sir. Definitely, sir. There's
Sure.
There is a lot of research and engineering agencies under that committee, sir.
But this is purely power issue.
Thank you, sir.
You are saying that there is no department
Thank you, sir.
under the Ministry of Power that has jurisdiction
Thank you, sir.
over...
Committee on Engineering have something to do even in health, because anything they do starts from the aspect of engineering, sir. The world is changing. That's what I'm trying to say.
So it's okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Let's get anyone to second this additional prayer of bringing the Committee on Science Engineering to also be part of this investigation. Any seconder to this? Are you seconding? Please go ahead, sir.
Your Excellency the Speaker, good afternoon, sir. My name is Paul Gawon Haruna. I represent Basa Dikina Federal Constituency. I rise to support the motion ably moved by my colleague that the Science and Engineering Committee be added to the committee to do this investigation. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
You so move or you so second?
I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Maybe if we were a Muslim, I would say maybe the first one has started eating you well. Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The nays have it. Any more amendment? Honorable Nachi. Your microphone, my brother.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Nnamdi Ezechi is my name, and I represent Indogwagwan Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the amendment I have is just for the motion to be investigative, mandating the Committee on Power to investigate and report back within 4 weeks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder to this? Yes, Honorable Taura.
My honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Saad Taura, representing the good people of Region Torpedo's constituency from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, sir, as observed by my honorable colleague, it's straightforward. Without waste of time, I stand to second his amendment. Thank you, sir.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. Any seconder to the main motion as amended? My dear brother.
Thank you, respected Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Ali Adeyemi Taufik is my name. I represent the good people of Mushin 1 Fire Constituency in Lagos. Mr. Speaker and dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion as moved by my dear colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Power for further legislative action. The ninth order of the day is a motion on the need to revamp the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Nigerian Product Storage Company Depots, Ore, Ondo State, standing in the name of Honorable Festus Ayodele Adefiranye. Honorable Adefiranye is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Festus Ayodele Adefiranye. I represent the good and industrious people of Ileluji, Okebo, and Odigbo Federal Constituency from Ondo State. Right Honorable Speakers, with the leave of the House, I would like to step down this motion for further legislative consultation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so this bill is, this motion is stepped down by the leave of the House. Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I have an announcement in respect of the ad hoc committee we promised to constitute to look into the investigation of utilization of takeoff grants, bailout funds, and interventions allocated to ministries, departments and agencies, institutions and government-owned enterprises from 2015 to date. Members of the ad hoc committee are as follows. Honorable Emeka Chinedu will be the chairman. Honorable Shitu Galambi, member. Honorable Ajilo Umaru Shehu, member. Honorable Chike Okafo, member. Honorable Kelechi Unwogu, member. Honorable Yusuf Adamugadi, member. Honorable Dr. Nnoli Naji, member. Honorable Miriam Onoa, member. Honorable Akin Ademi, member. Honorable Osman Zana, member. Honorable Oshoba A. Babatunde, member. Honorable Okoji H. Odia Nosen, member. Honorable Mark Esset Udo, member. Honorable Inu Garba, member. The chair rules. Please, can you move that the House adjourn to Tuesday next week, 11 a.m.?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Having exhausted the matters on order for today, I rise to move that the House do adjourn to Tuesday next week, same time, same venue. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader, you don't appear as if you want us to adjourn. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the motion that we adjourn to Tuesday next week. I so second.
Thank you very much. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is have it. House adjourned to Tuesday, 11 a.m. next week. Thank you very much. Members of the Northwest, please be reminded that we have iftar breakfast today in Guzape, my guest house in Guzape. You are all welcome. And even the Northeasterners are invited if they so wish.